It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Fox Sports Net 2 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you on this gloomy night. The Dodgers and the Royals hoping to give you a good show. The Dodgers need more than a good show. This was going to be the homestand that would get them well. Well, it hadn't worked out that way at all. They are 2-3 on the stand after their last game with the Royals, battling to win 2 out of 3. They then will dig in for the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. Meanwhile, the Giants came from behind last night, beat Minnesota, and the Giant lead over the Dodgers is back to 4. Tonight, the Dodgers go with their ace, and that would be Kevin Brown, with a record of 7-1 against left-hander Darrell May. The Dodger record against left-handed starters, 7-3. And as far as Kevin Brown is concerned, the Dodgers are 8-4 in games in which he has pitched, winning the last 7. So they go with their ace, and the feeling is they had better win to really start turning things around. We'll get to the starting lineups. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. Los Angeles, in particular Dodger Stadium, under a canopy of lead gray sky as we await the start of the final game of the 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals. The Royals 3.5 back of Minnesota, and the Dodgers 4 games back of San Francisco. For Kansas City, as they go head-to-head for the last time against the Dodgers, here's the way they will stack up for Tony Pena in trying to beat Kevin Brown. It'll be Desi Relevert leading off at second base. Joe Randa will be at third. Mike Sweeney will be at first base. Raul Ibanez will be in left field. Carlos Beltran in center. Michael Tucker will be in right. Angel Baroa will be at short. And the only change in the lineup, instead of Brent Mayne, it'll be Mike DeFelice. And on the mound, Darrell May, with a record of 0-1, although May does have some experience against the National League, he is 2-2. For the Dodgers, they send Kevin Brown to the mic, and the Dodger right-hander was selected today as the National League Pitcher of the Month for May. He was 5-0, an earned run average of 1 in 6 starts. In 44 innings, he allowed just 5 runs and struck out 36. Here's the Dodger lineup with Brown at the head. It'll be Dave Roberts leading off in center field. Paul Lo Duca behind the plate with a 13-game hitting streak. Then you have Shawn Green in right, Brian Jordan in left, and Fred McGriff at first. Hobie Cabrera will be at second base. Adrian Beltre at third. Then you have Cesar Izturis at short, and Kevin Brown on the mound. Lo Duca has been the one-man gang for now, but he could use some help, and the Dodgers hope they'll be able to give it not only to him, but to Kevin Brown to see if he can't pick up his 8th win. We'll find out about it right after this. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to Dodger Stadium in Game 3 between the Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals. The Dodgers taking their positions right now, and this day has already proven to be somewhat of a red-letter day for the Dodgers as they welcome home Fernando Valenzuela. During the 1958 campaign, the Dodgers were the first team to have a bilingual broadcast.
Let's have a hand for all the youngsters who are having
to be here, and I'm waiting for this moment, and I'm so excited to see what happens.
And now Fernando is back to join Jaime Jarrín and Pepe Iniguez. He'll be the analyst on games played within the Western Division. And tonight, he will be sitting quietly in the KWKW dugout. He's not there right now. And he'll be listening and watching. And eventually tomorrow night, Fernando Valenzuela will go to the mound at Dodger Stadium, throw out the first ball. Then he'll go up to the radio booth and begin his new career as an analyst. So, indeed, it is welcome home to Fernando Valenzuela today. Meanwhile, there is no place like home for Kevin Brown and the Dodgers, a break-even team on the road. The Dodgers are 6 games above 500 at home, although this has been so far a very disappointing homestand. The Dodgers with a record of 2 wins and 3 losses in a homestand that meant Milwaukee, Kansas City, and Chicago. So they would like to get to the 500 mark tonight and then take at least 2 out of 3 from the White Sox before going out on the road to play Detroit and Cleveland. While the Dodgers are out on the road, by the way, playing Detroit and Cleveland, the Giants will be playing the same 2 teams that we've seen here, Kansas City and Chicago White Sox. So Kevin Brown, who's been absolutely brilliant outside of that first game back in April when he was very much under the weather and fell ill against the San Francisco Giants, he has just been flying and comes into this game 7-1, an earned run average of 2. He is 6-7, however, in his career against the Kansas City Royals, and we will see now how he goes tonight. For Kansas City, Desi Relaford, followed by Joe Randa and then Mike Sweeney, and we're about ready to get it underway. Game 3, the final meeting of the year, and the final meeting for sure between the Dodgers and Kansas City. First pitch to Relaford, a comebacker over the glove of Brown and up the middle into center field for a base hit. So Kevin Brown just missed that high chopper back through the box, and Relaford aboard with a base hit before the chairs are warm. And the batter now will be Joe Randa. Relaford's high hopper might have been caught by Brown, and maybe the very fact that it was the first pitch of the game caught him unawares. For whatever reason, a playable comebacker got by, and it's a base hit for Relaford. Joe Randa checking in with Relaford at first base. Joe had 2 doubles and a single in game 1, and he had 1 hit last night. So he has 4 for 8 at bats, hitting .237, but doing exceptionally well against the National League. In interleague play for the last 5 years, he's hitting .346. Now it looks like Kevin Brown might have had his. It's Cabrera who's changing the glove, so timeout for the moment. You see a ball get off the fingertips of Kevin Brown, you think maybe it was his glove, but it was Cabrera. So anyway, Desi Relaford is at first. Obi Cabrera is back to his defensive position at second, and now here is Joe Randa at the plate. Off the campus of the University of Tennessee, and Joe not only doing very well with the bat right now, but solid at third base defensively. Randa takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Randa has played 64 straight games without an error, a fielding percentage of exactly 1,000. You can't get any better than that. Quick throw to first, but Relaford is back on the bag. Desi Relaford has stolen 7 out of 8. LaDuca nailed him in his attempt to steal. Got him last night. The strike 1 pitch fouled away, and the count now to Joe Randa 0-2. And looking at Brown's work in the past, Randa 1 for 7 against him. Desi Relaford is now 7 for 23 against him. So Relaford hurts him with a base hit up the middle, and now Randa trying to keep it going. Waiting his turn on deck, Mike Sweeney. Brown at the belt, turns, fires to first. Relaford jumps back on the bag. We're just starting top of the first inning. The Dodgers and the Royals. The Giants will be playing in San Francisco, going up against Minnesota in a couple of minutes. Brown ready. Kevin deals fastball and a slow roller to short. His Torres had to wait for it, so the only play is at first. So moving into second goes Desi Relaford on a slow roller to short. 1 away.
Mike Sweeney.
Mike Sweeney coming up with a man in scoring position, and Sweeney posting good numbers, hitting .308. He has 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. And for Mike Sweeney, hitting in the number 3 slot has become home for him. He's hit about .340 in the number 3 slot. All the others who tried hit a total of .233. So Sweeney at the plate, Relaford at second, slider down and away. Ball 1 to Mike. Mike's father, Big Mike, an operations manager for a beer distributor, And his father was an outfielder for 2 years in the Angels organization in the Pioneer League in the early 70s. So Mike is a chip off the old block for sure. 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball sinks low, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. We mentioned the other night that Mike Sweeney was the second of 8 children to the Sweeney household, born 6 weeks premature, and his dad put a plastic bat in his incubator, and now he's swinging a very heavy bat for Kansas City. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's a line drive off the glove of McGriff. Picks it up late, and safe at first is Sweeney, and over to third goes Relaford. So the Dodgers not using the leather very well. Relaford, a bouncer that just eluded Brown, and now Sweeney, a bullet right into and out of the first baseman's glove of Fred McGriff, and that'll be an error charged to McGriff. I mean, it hit him solidly, and then it came out and landed behind him. You know, the Dodgers, especially when you look at Cora, Izturis, and Roberts, you think, boy, they have a dazzling defensive club. As of yesterday, they were 15th out of 16 teams in the National League defensively. They make a lot of errors. So here is Raul Ibanez. Brown delivers, and did he hit him? No, but he came awful close, and Ibanez just did get out of the way. 1 ball and no strikes. So a rather rocky beginning for the Dodgers, and they come up with their 48th error. Brown at the belt. Kevin ready and deals. Fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1-1 to Raul. Born in Manhattan, New York, lives in Miami, went to Miami-Dade South Community College, and was a low round pick by the Seattle Mariners back in '92. Next pitch is off the plate, and the count 2-1. Ibanez, among other things, suffered a broken wrist when he was hit by a college pitcher getting ready for spring training a few years ago, but he has bounced back nicely, hitting .282. The 2-1 pitch on the way is foul back, in the count 2-2. For several years, the Royals had a very good player named Kevin Seitzer, and Raul Ibanez says it was Kevin Seitzer who taught him how to hit. Ibanez has certainly learned his lessons well. He was an outfielder in junior college, converted to catcher, and then reconverted back to the outfield again. He could also play a little first base if you need him. 2-2 pitch, and the left-hand batter is swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Ibanez strikes out, a big out. So Kevin Brown so far this year has 70 strikeouts and 18 walks. So almost 4-1. And with 2 down, the inning is still alive, and maybe the toughest hitter that the Royals have, Carlos Beltran, coming up. Beltran hitting .277, 10 home runs, 24 runs batted in, out of Puerto Rico, drafted out of high school by the Royals. A number 2 pick. Carlos takes way inside, ball 1. Only 26 years old. So Beltran making a lot of money. He's a $6 million player at 26. Brown out of a stretch, checks the runners at the corners. The 1-0 fastball fouled away, and the count 1-1. As we always do with a runner at third, not a bad idea to check wild pitches. Kevin Brown has committed 3. So Desi Relaford opened up with a single, moved to second on a ground ball, to third on McGriff's error. Sweeney held on by McGriff at first, and Beltran waiting. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown at the belt, ready, deals, fastball outside corner, and the count 1-2. So Brown trying to wiggle off a hook here. Kevin staring in as Lo Duca goes out in front of the plate for a moment, reminding everybody 2 down. Now Paulie gets back and settles into his crouch, and the left-hand hitting Carlos Beltran waiting at the plate. Brown, hands at his sides, reading Lo Duca, a long look. Now he's ready, and the 1-2 pitch to Carlos Beltran. Brown instead is off the rubber. Beltran, with his power, has only struck out 24 times, so he's a pretty dangerous hitter. The 1-2 pitch coming up, Kevin Deal swung on and fouled back. Carlos Beltran, the Rookie of the Year in the American League back in 1999. He has twin sisters. He was the Royals Minor League Player of the Year in '98. So he seems to be born to the crown. A good, solid player from the minors right up to the big leagues. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Set is Brown. Kevin ready and comes back. A big bouncer up the middle. Up with it is Cabrera. The feed to his Sturz, and the Dodgers are out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. And at the end of half an inning, Kansas City nothing, and the Dodgers coming up. No score, bottom of the first inning. The Dodgers coming up with Roberts, LaDuca, and Green, and they'll be checking in against left-handed Darrell May. Big guy, 6'2", 185, but was born in San Bernardino. The Braves drafted him out of Sacramento City College, and he lives in Rogue River, Oregon. So Darrell May, 31 years old, the middle of June. The left-hander ready and deals, and Roberts takes off the plate, ball 1. By the way, if you're at Albertsons, the supermarket located at 3830 Verdugo Avenue in Burbank, if you're in that market at 11 a.m. tomorrow, you'll see 3 maniacs selling and buying. There's a bunt by Roberts. The ball is thrown away by Darrell May, and Dave is going to just keep on going. He'll wind all the way to third as they get the ball back in. So Roberts bunts. It is bobbled and thrown away by May, and Dave is all the way at third base with nobody out. Dave was running as fast as he'd be running tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. because Dave Roberts, Alex Cora, and Brian Jordan at 11 a.m. will be at the Burbank Albertsons market, and they will have 3 minutes to go down the aisles and load up their baskets with groceries and products. At the end of the 3-minute mark, they'll each head to the register to be rung up, and the products will go to the LA Regional Food Bank truck to be taken to the LA Food Bank warehouse. So Roberts gets his legs in shape for tomorrow and goes all the way on a bunt single and a throwing error charge to May, and the batter is Paul LaDuca, and he takes a strike. 0-1. So Darrell May throws the bunt away, and the Dodgers now with a chance to get on the board and do it first. May pitching out of his stretch is back to Roberts, who comes down the line. Big left-handed deals. LaDuca takes a strike. 0-2 the count to Paul, who's checking in up there with a 13-game hitting streak. Adrian Beltre had a 17-game hitting streak back in 2001. So Darrell May with a runner at third, nobody out. Left-handed deals, fastball fouled off, and it's still 0-2. Darrell May was sold by the Angels to the Hanshin Tigers in Japan in 1998, and he pitched in Japan for 4 years. He returned to the United States when the Royals signed him a couple of years ago. He was being paid $2 million a year in Japan, but he wanted to come back to the USA. The pitch to LaDuca almost hit him down at the feet, 1-2. And as May said, hard to believe, I'm so happy to come back, happy to wear a major league uniform. I didn't grow up wanting to play baseball in Japan. They say he turned down a $4.5 million contract in Japan to play for the Royals for $365,000. Meanwhile, Paul LaDuca pops it up. Joe Randa straddling the foul line at third, makes the catch for the out. It'll be ruled a fair ball if you like to keep close tabs on things. So 1 away, and the batter now, Shawn Green. They are now telling us, and they've taken the hit off the board on that bunt by Dave Roberts. They're going to give Darrell May 2 errors. The error because he bobbled the ball and allowed Roberts to reach first, and another error for throwing the ball wildly, letting Dave go to third. Shawn Green takes a hook off the plate. 1 ball and no strike. Shawn's hitting .273, 6 home runs, and 26 runs batted in. Darrell May ready and comes back, and that's promptly banged into center for a base hit. Roberts went back to tag. Now he can just jog in easily. So the Dodgers get on the boards first and take a 1-0 lead. So Shawn Green, base hit and run batted in as he tries to fight his way out of a horrific slump. And the batter now, Brian Jordan. Shawn Green was 3 for 18. That was a 167 batting average during this homestand. Just one reason why the Dodgers are 2-3 so far in the stand. Brian Jordan, the left fielder, now at the plate. May ready and delivers, and that's going to be a one-hopper off the glove of Angel Berroa, who throws to second in time to get Shawn Green. And whoa, Jim Tracy heading out there to talk to Jeff Kellogg. Kellogg took a lot of heat from Tony Pena on those pitches to Adrian Beltre in game 1, and now Tracy's gone out to talk to him. Berroa knocks the ball down, gets it up, throws over, and it looked like Green had beaten the play, but not in the eyes of Jeff Kellogg, and that's all that counts. You can see Green's foot on the bag, maybe a hair before the ball got into the glove, and Brian Jordan can't believe it. So the Dodgers lose a play, and Jordan now frustrated as Fred McGriff comes up, and Green is back in the dugout. It was also a pretty nice play by Angel Berroa not to give up on that ball hit off his glove. So 1-0 Dodgers. Here's Fred McGriff, and he hits a fly ball to right field. That'll be caught by Michael Tucker, and that's that. So the Dodgers, thanks to 2 errors by Darrell May, pick up a run, and at the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Royals nothing. The White Sox here tomorrow night at 7:10. All fans in attendance receive an American flag, compliments of Centinela Hospital. Give us a call, 323-2241-HIT. Log on to Dodgers.com for more information. Michael Tucker, Angel Berroa, and then Mike DeFelice. And Brown into the windup. Kevin Reddy and deals. Fastball for a strike to Michael, and the count 0-1. Tuck, as they call him, from South Boston, Virginia, and went to Longwood, Virginia College. A #1 pick by the Royals back in '92, and takes low and inside. The left-hand hitter batting .256, 7 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Dodgers lead 1-0, top of the second inning. Brown into the windup, comes back, hard ground ball, but right to McGriff, and he'll take it to the bag for the out. So 1 away here in the second inning, and the batter will be Angel Berroa.
Number 4, Angel Berroa.
Berroa, about 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, and has surprised the Dodgers a little bit. He came in here with 3 home runs, and he's homered in each of the first 2 games to give him 5. Out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, only 23 years old. Came over in a big deal that sent the favorite of Kansas City, Johnny Damon, to Oakland. So Berroa waiting at the plate. Made a good play on that ball that was hit to force Shawn Green, and he takes a pitch low, ball 1, 1-0. Green thought that maybe Berroa would catch the line drive, so he hesitated and then made it awfully close at second, and the call went against the Dodgers. So Berroa, right-hand batter, waiting at the plate, 20 RBIs, and hitting back of him is DeFelice. Now the next pitch, a full swing and a miss, and the count 1-1. 1 out, second inning. 1-0 Dodgers. Woody Williams of the Cardinals had a no-hitter for 7 innings tonight against Toronto. Pitch fouled away by Berroa. The Cardinals winning that game 10-0. However, after Williams started the 8th inning, he surrendered a base hit. Woody is also one of the better hitting pitchers in the league. He had a bases loaded triple and had 4 RBIs in the game. Brown into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch to Berroa off the plate. The last Cardinal to pitch a no-hitter was Bud Smith. You may remember 2 years ago he no-hitted San Diego at Qualcomm. So Woody came close, but no cigar. 2-2 fastball, a chopper up the middle, charged by Izturis, gloves at the bag, and throws him out. 2 down in the second inning. Cesar Izturis
Catcher,
has made one
number
error in his
26,
last 40
Mike
games,
DeFelice.
and he has been dazzling. And now the batter is Mike DeFelice. DeFelice was originally drafted by the Cardinals 12 years ago off the campus of the University of Tennessee. He pitched as a kid, but he's a catcher all the way now. He has a bachelor's degree in marketing from the university. Right-hand batter, and Brown works him low. Ball one, 1-0. DeFelice lists his dad as his hero. His father came to this country at a young age, worked to build a great life without any chance for an education, and he's gotten his son through college. And there's a ground ball hard, gobbled up by Beltre, who makes the play for the second out, and now the third. So out go the Royals, 1, 2, 3, and at the end of an inning and a half, 1-0 Dodgers. The White Sox will be here tomorrow night and for the weekend, and all fans in attendance at Saturday's game receive a Jackie Robinson coin, compliments of the Dodger Dream Foundation. So give us a call, check the website for more information. The White Sox will be here for the weekend. They're all here taking in the ball game tonight. The finale with the Dodgers leading Kansas City 1-0. It'll be Hobie Cabrera, Adrian Beltre, and then Cesar Izturis. Cabrera hitting .273, 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Darrell May ready and deals, and the fastball is low. Ball one, 1-0. So Hobie has done such a good job for the Dodgers. Starting against the left-hander. Dodger record against left-hand starters, 7-3. And the pitch low and away. Ball two, 2-0. Darrell May, following his freshman year at Sacramento City College, was drafted in the 14th round by the A's. They negotiated, but May didn't sign. The 2-0 pitch, low, ball 3. The end of his sophomore year, few agents called and told him he'd be a top 5 round pick. That pumped him up, only to find out he went in the 46th round, and he was really disappointed. 3-0 pitch, in for a strike. So Darrell talked with the scouts from Oakland, rejected Oakland's final offer, and most folks felt, well, then he's going to go to Tennessee, and instead he went with the Braves. Darrell shaking no, then yes, and the 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike. 3-2. After bouncing around from the Braves, he went eventually to the Pirates, then to the Angels, and eventually, as we mentioned, the Angels sold him to Japan. 3-2 pitch on the way is laced to left field. Coming up is Ibanez to pick it off. Line drive that just hung near. One away. That'll bring up Adrian Beltre.
Adrian Beltre.
Well, I tell you one thing, if that story is true, Darrell May sure is happy to be back in the USA. If he could turn down a reported $4.5 million contract in Japan to play for the Royals for $365,000. That is really something. The pitch to Adrian Beltre is a hook low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Beltre fighting his way out of a horrific slump, has his average to .216, holds up, and a change in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Adrian 6 for 17 during the stand. That's a .353 batting average. 1-1 the count. Back is a pitch up and away, and Beltre jumps at it almost out of his shoes. Didn't get it. Raul Ibanez had to fight that line drive, but looking up into the lights, turned his head and ducked, but he was able to find it. So Cabrera hit a line drive that found Ibanez's glove rather than vice versa. So 2-2 the count to Adrian Beltre. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. 2-2 pitch is swung on, hit out in front of the plate. DeFelice is up with it, throws to first in time for the out. So 2 down in the second inning, and Cesar Izturis coming up. Izturis will check in and bat right-handed against Darrell May, hitting .273 from this side of the plate, but of course most of the time he's hitting left-handed. as a right-handed batter, 273, left-handed 232. He takes a pitch high, ball one. You put it all together, and his overall batting average 241. So Asturias, who has just been absolutely brilliant with the glove, waiting at the plate, and promptly pops one up into shallow right. Relaford out, Tucker in, and Michael Tucker for the catch, and that's that. So the Dodgers go out in order 1, 2, 3, and at the end of 2, Dodgers 1, Royals nothing. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealer, by Southwest Airlines, by Pennzoil, we're driving protection, and by SBC, ordinary people, extraordinary jobs. What is now a lovely evening here at Dodger Stadium. Joe Randa examining the bat. Finds it's okay. He'll be coming as the third hitter in the inning. 1-0 Dodgers in the third. Darrell May followed by Desi Relaford and then Joe Randa. And of course Darrell May has a little bit of experience and a 2-2 record in the National League, but it's been a while since he swung the bat, and he takes a strike and the count 0-1. Dodgers got a run on May's 2 errors and then a base hit by Shawn Green. Strike 1 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. In the interleague play highlight today, Pittsburgh and the Boston Red Sox, and they're playing the uniforms of 1903 as May strikes out. They are rather colorful, big, heavy, with huge collars and lace up fronts. Going back through the years, in 1916 for the Boston Red Sox, one of their right-hand pitchers turned in his 3rd straight shutout. And we're talking about Babe Ruth. Brown working from the first base side of the rubber. Kevin Deals gets a strike to Relaford and the count 0-1. Desi bounced one up the middle and got around to third and stayed there. The peripatetic Mr. Relaford played for the Phillies and the Padres and the Mets. Fouls a pitch away. Also played for the Mariners and eventually winding up with the Royals. He's another fella, and you keep hearing it, involved with the University of Tennessee, only instead of going there, he signed with the Mariners. 0-2 to Desi. 30 years old in September. Hits a ground ball to Cabrera. Obi is up with it, throws him out. 2 down here in the 3rd inning. And the batter will be Joe Randa. Checked his bat, found it was okay, and coming up. Of course, the big story in all the newscasts and headlines in the newspapers, talking about checking bats, Sammy Sosa. All 5, by the way, of Sammy Sosa's bats belonging to the Hall of Fame showed no signs of cork or anything else that would violate baseball rules. So Randa, right-hand batter, waiting. And Joe takes high, ball 1, 1-0. We told you that Pirates broadcaster Bob Walk gave Randa the nickname Joker 6 years ago. Reminded him of the Batman villain. Randa takes low and inside ball 2, and so often happens if you put an appropriate nickname on a player, the fans respond, and the Pirate fans began sending jokers from decks of playing cards. 2-0 pitch to Joe, a little dribbler that's going to go foul up along third, and the count 2-1. Joe Randa, yep, out of the University of Tennessee, another one. Born in Milwaukee, lives in Kansas City. Out of high school, he went to Indian River Community College. That's right down near Vero Beach. At one time, Joe Randa had a streak of 10 consecutive hits. That'd be 4 years ago. He swings, fouls it away. That's 2 hits short of the major league record held by Pinky Higgins of the 1938 Red Sox, Walt Dropo of the 1952 Tigers. The 10 straight hits, however, for Joe broke the Royals record, which had been 8. 2-2 pitch coming up. Brown deals inside, ball 3. 3-2. Joe, emotionally shaken by the death of his mother in an auto accident, became deeply religious and leads in baseball chapel. Now hits a one-hopper, glove by his Turris, who throws him out on a highlight play. Cesar Izturis somehow catches up to a ball hit way off to his left, does a 360 and throws a strike to McGriff. And at the end of 2.5, 1-0 Dodgers. Brown. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Bottom of the third inning. Kevin Brown, Dave Roberts, and Paul Lo Duca in that order. Darrell May ready. The left-hander deals low. Ball one. 1-0. Brownie hitting 185. He has scored 2 runs. He has struck out not quite half the time and hits a pop fly into shallow right. Gone out is Relaford, and Desi makes the catch for the out. Cesar Izturis making yet another spectacular play on a ball hit to his left, and then being able to make a full turn and find first base, and then get something on the throw to Fred McGriff. He actually caught up to a base hit. The ball was past him, and somehow or other Little Caesar got his man. So 1 away in the third inning. Alex Rodriguez is ahead of him. David Eckstein is right there with him as far as Golden Gloves. We're not sure who's going to wind up with a Gold Glove. And the pitch to Dave Roberts in for a strike, and the count 0-1. May into the windup. Darrell back, and the breaking ball is low in the dirt, and the count 1-1. Dave Roberts trying to bunt his way aboard. May fielded the ball, juggled it, then threw it away for 2 errors, and works it down and away. Ball 2. 2-1 the count to Roberts. Dave hitting 265. On deck, Paul Lo Duca, and the 2-1 pitch very high. Ball 3. 3-1. Roberts back up and waiting. May stands a little at an angle on the rubber, facing the first base foul line. Comes back 3-1, gets it in there, and the count 3-2. For Darrell May, he has 39 strikeouts, 18 walks, so a little bit better than 2-1. His 3-2 pitch on the way is swung on and hit foul off third, and that will slice back into the stands out of play. We gave it kind of in a hurry, trying to get it in. Alex Cora, Brian Jordan, and Dave Roberts will be at Albertsons on Verdugo Avenue in Burbank tomorrow at 11 a.m. They will have 3 minutes to dash up and down the aisles, loading their baskets with groceries and products, and at the end of 3 minutes they'll turn in what they've bought. Pitch fouled away, out of play. That food will go to an LA Regional Food Bank truck, and it will be taken to the LA Food Bank warehouse. So we were trying to alert especially lady shoppers who are minding their own business at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at Albertsons in Burbank, and 3 guys like wild men will be running down the aisles picking up food. Roberts hacks another one foul off to the left, and it remains 3-2. So we have 1 out, bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Locked into yet another tough ball game. The Dodgers have been in 22 one-run games, and they've won 12. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Dave Roberts, and that swung on, hit to left center field. Ibanez was guarding the line, and Dave is into second base, and he's going to hold on. He was running hard, but the play was in front of him, and when he saw the throw getting to Baroa, he wisely jammed on the brakes. So Dave Roberts, a double in the gap. For Roberts,
Catcher,
that would be
Paul Lo Duca.
only his 3rd double. And now Lo Duca and Green trying to pick him up. Paul Lo Duca with Roberts at 3rd in the first inning popped up to Joe Randa. Paulie with that 13-game hitting streak. And you know, when you go back to Dodger Stadium since 1974, Lo Duca has been as successful, if not more so, than any other hitter. In fact, he came into this series hitting .380 at Dodger Stadium. Pedro Guerrero back in 1988 hit .364 here. So LaDuca having a hot year, batting .332, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in, and an opportunity to pick up another RBI. Paulie 7 for 17 in the homestand, well over 400. Darrell May out of a stretch, a look back at Roberts. LaDuca waiting, and the pitch to Paulie is on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors for May, and thereby hangs the tail. The bunt by Roberts. May bobbled it, then in his haste threw it away for yet another error. Now Roberts is bothering him again with a 1-out double. Strike 1 pitch to Paul LaDuca. May set and delivers. Fastball fouled away off to the right upstairs, and the count 0-2. May hit 94 on the gun, so the big left-hander can bring it, as the modern-day player says. Darrell May, a lot of people who see him pitch say that he has the poise and composure similar, let's say, to a Tommy Glavine. Good changeup, slider, and curve. Hands at his sides, left foot on the rubber, and all the while LaDuca waiting. No balls and 2 strikes. Darrell May ready. LaDuca at second, going to third, and the pitch foul back. So Dave Roberts going in on his landing gear, and he is now covered with black dirt. On a 0-2 pitch, they had him going, and LaDuca fouled it off. For Darrell May, he is really shredding the strike zone. He has made 8 consecutive pitches, 8 consecutive strikes, and now Desi Relaford comes in to talk to him for the moment, maybe to remind him to take another look back there at Roberts. Dave, I think, would have had third base stolen, but LaDuca fouled it off. So Relaford telling the left-hander, hey, just don't let him take the lead. I'm going to be trying to hold him on. So Roberts off the bag at second. The strike 2 pitch to Paul LaDuca. The left-hander delivers. Breaking ball down at the right foot of LaDuca, and the count 1-2. One thing about Darrell May with that big breaking ball especially, he has 4 wild pitches. So he puts a little heat on Mike DeFelice, the catcher. 1-0 Dodgers, looking for more here in the 3rd inning. Minnesota leading the Giants 1-0, top of the 3rd. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Paul LaDuca. Relaford to the bag, but no throw, but still trying to take a step away from Dave Roberts. Roberts carrying a little extra weight, Dodger real estate, from his shirt down to his knees. I mean, he got that white uniform dirtied in a hurry. 1-2 to LaDuca. May at the belt. Darrell ready. Left hand is set. Takes another look now to the plate, and it's lifted to right field. Tucker coming in is under it. There's no place for Roberts to go. So LaDuca popped up with a runner at third, pops out with a runner at second, and the batter is Shawn Green. Don't forget, stay tuned to Fox Sports Net 2 after the game for highlights of all of today's sports action. The Southern California Sports Report featuring complete Dodger coverage and a lot more. And on 980 KFWB, be sure to stay with us for the postgame show with Ross Porter and Rick Monday. Shawn Green, a line single to center in the 1st inning. Driving in a run. He now has 27 RBIs, but he's on a pace for only 74. That would be 40 less than last year when he had 114. So if Shawn Green is going to equal his output from last year, he is really having to go to the whip. Although, agreed, almost 2/3 of the season still in front of him. The first pitch is fastball high, ball 1, 1-0. On deck, Brian Jordan. Green 3 for 18 in the homestand until he got the base hit. Roberts taking his lead with 2 out, and a slow curveball is lifted to left field. Raul Ibanez is there waiting and waiting, makes the catch, and that's that. The Dodgers waste a 1-out double by Roberts, and at the end of 3, Dodgers 1, Kansas City nothing. Here's tonight's Aflac trivia question. In 1999, Carlos Beltran became the third Royals player to win the American League Rookie of the Year award. Do you possibly know the first two? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Right now, one local boy at the plate. Another local boy has just driven in a run up north. Mike Sweeney here, and he has a look at ball one. Bobby Kielty from Fontana just got a base hit for Minnesota to drive in a run, and the Twins are leading 2-0, and they go into the bottom of the third inning at Pac Bell. Sweeney hitting .306, fouls it away. Reached on a line drive, a bullet that went in and out of Fred McGriff's glove. Mike Sweeney, as we mentioned, one of 8 children, and grew up as a barber, cutting most of his brother and sister's hair. And when he played at Wichita, he cut his teammates' hair for $3 each. The 1-1 pitch on the way, and Mike takes way off the plate. Ball 2, 2-1. We mentioned the other night how Mike Sweeney was born 6 weeks premature and had to go back to the hospital for a month. And he shares one distinction with Fred McGriff. He hits a ground ball down to his turf. Cesar's on it and throws him out. Big Fred McGriff was also born prematurely, and you look at Sweeney and McGriff and you say, well, the premature birth did not affect either of them. They are big, strong, strapping men. One away, and Raul Ibanez coming up. Ibanez struck out in the first inning. Raul waiting. Brown into the windup and works it low. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the 1-0 pitch. 1-1. We're in the fourth. 1-0 Dodgers. The White Sox coming tomorrow night. And of course, for the White Sox to come to Los Angeles, even if you're not old enough to remember, the history book tells you they were here when we were playing in the Coliseum for the 1959 World Series. And come Sunday at 12:30 on UPN 13, we'll have a look at a little of that 59 World Series. Hope you'll join us on Dodger Dugout. Second out as Ibanez rolls out, and that'll bring up Carlos Beltran.
Center fielder.
So Brown is on a roll. He would have gotten everybody except for Relaford's bouncer up the middle and then the error by McGriff. But even discarding those, he's retired 10 in a row. And here's Beltran. 10 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Ground ball to his turf. So Brown continues on a hot roll, sets him down again. That's 11 in a row retired, and he walks off at the end of 3½, leading 1-0. Remember the Aflac trivia question. Carlos Beltran, the third Royals player to win the American League Rookie of the Award. Who were the first two? The answers: Lou Piniella and Bob Hamlin. Meanwhile, strike one to Brian Jordan. Jordan hit into a force play in the first inning. Hit the ball hard, and the very fact that he hit it so hard kind of confused Shawn Green. It went off the glove of Angel Baroa, and since Green hesitated, he was out on a very close play at second base. Jordan 4 for 16, hitting .250 during the homestand, 0 for 3 yesterday. Inside at the shins. 1-2. They're now in the fourth inning at Pac Bell. Twins 2, Giants nothing. Little ground ball to short. Baroa. One away. Say, baseball fans, you can log on to foxsports.com, keyword games, and play the 2003 installment of Hit the Pros. Hit the Pros. Take your at-bats against the best pitchers in the game. Darrell May, left-hander. Be 31 years old the 13th of June, working on Fred McGriff. Ball one. That's a strike. Fred batting .255, 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in, 3 RBIs behind Joe DiMaggio, and he has 487 career home runs. 1 and 2. For Darrell May, next pitch will be number 50. He had to work the hardest in the 3rd inning. He made 18 pitches. 2 and 2. And foul, that breaking ball off the end of the bat. Still 2 and 2. White Sox will be here. And Kaz Ishi pitches Friday night. Andy Ashby will pitch Saturday night in Darren Dreifer's spot. Odalis Perez on Sunday. 2 and 2. Ground ball, but right at Rutherford. 2 down.
Second baseman.
That'll bring up Hobie Cabrera. So the Dodgers got a big break in the 1st inning. If you weren't with us, Dave Roberts bunted to the right of the mound. May came down, picked it up, juggled it, bobbled it, and then in his haste threw it away. And Roberts wound up at 3rd on 2 errors, and Green single scored him. Otherwise, wouldn't be any score. 1-0 Dodgers. Ball 1 to Hobie. Cabrera hit it very hard right at Raul Ibanez in left field, and Raul lost it a little bit in the lights. Fortunately, it didn't hit him in the face. It wound up right in his mitt. This time a slicing fly ball to right center. That means it's coming over to Michael Tucker. So the Dodgers go quietly in the 4th inning, and at the end of 4, the Dodgers 1, Royals 0. Here's our schedule. The White Sox here for the weekend. All 3 games on UPN 13. The Dodgers then go out on the road. All radio out of Detroit Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Every Dodger game on 980 KFWB and 1330 KWKW. Ross Porter, Rick Monday, Jaime Jarrín, and Pepe Yuniguez. Ball 1 to Michael Tucker. Kevin Brown with sinkers, splitters, throwing hard, has gotten 12 outs in 4 innings, 10 of them ground balls, and the other 2 strikeouts. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Michael Tucker. Kevin has retired 11 in a row after the error by McGriff. 2-0. Tucker taken all the way. 2-1. Tuck was on the U.S. Olympic team of 1992. Runs very well. He's also very smart. He was not drafted out of Bluestone High School in Virginia because he had written to teams saying he wasn't going to sign. Don't you sign either, son, and listen to your mom. Yeah, they'll give you a ball to fill that glove one of these days. That's your heart. 2-2 to Michael. Oh, yes, got him. So Brown puts Tucker away. 1 down in the 5th inning.
Shortstop.
And the batter will be Angel Berroa. Great pitch. For Brown, that would be his 3rd strikeout. Berroa grounded to short in the 2nd inning. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Berroa has been very impressive playing shortstop. 0-2. Good sink on that pitch. even though he had one ball get away, a pretty hard hit ball by Jovi Cabrera, charged with an error. He did what all the good ones do. Next time up, he hit a home run and promptly bangs that into right field on an 0-2 pitch. So Baroja with one out, a single to right field, and Mike DeFelice coming up. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Dodgers may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers. So Mike DeFelice, the catcher at the plate with one out, and Baroja at first base. Mike born in Philadelphia, but he lives in Florida now. Brown watching Baroja. Foul ball, 0-1. DeFelice at one time in the low minors, they put the nickname Pig Boy on him because he got his uniform dirty so often. A year ago, December, he signed with the Royals, a one-year deal for $625,000 and all kinds of incentives, bonuses. Give him $25,000 for every 60, 70, 80, 90 games that he played. A slice drive, a diving trap by Green. Holding at second is Baroja on a sinking base hit to right field by DeFelice. So Kevin Green making a great effort. Diving try, but he trapped the ball and then fell on top and rolled over it. First base umpire Joe West was right in position to call it immediately. So first and second with one out. After retiring 12 in a row, Brown hits a bump in the road. There's Joe West, the crew chief, and Darrell May coming up. But first he'll talk to John Miserock, the third base coach. Well, May, as an American League pitcher, does not have much experience swinging the bat, but remember, he started in the Braves organization, came up with Atlanta, then played for the Pirates, but he hadn't swung the bat in a while. Fouls the bunt back, 0-1. No balls, one strike. Dodgers leading 1-0. For Kevin Brown, his next pitch will be number 60. Kevin looking over to Adrian Beltre, who is gesturing, and of course he now wants to talk to Adrian. The big tip with two on, a bunt. Who's going to cover third? Who's going to come to the plate? Meanwhile, Cabrera and Izturis have their own signals, and McGriff shortens up in front of the runner. Beltre is caddy corner right now, and a pickoff play, but nobody covering. With a left-hand batter up, Cabrera broke to fill up the hole just in case the bunt was down and he'd have to cover first base. So there's a lot going on in there. Now Beltre again gesturing to the infield and to Brown. He is finished now, and we'll see. Will Beltre come? Will Izturis cover third? Will Cabrera go back towards second? Well, there's a pickoff play, not in time, but the wheels are certainly turning on that infield. Now Izturis going in to talk to Brown. Sometimes the third baseman breaks and the shortstop breaks to cover third base, and the second baseman breaks to cover first. But a lot of times the runner will be tempted to follow the shortstop towards third, and that's when the second baseman goes back to the bag and they try for the pickoff. 0-1. Full swing foul on LaDuca, bitten, I believe, on the right hand. You know, you wonder about LaDuca and power and all that kind of stuff. The fact that he had 25 home runs and he has slacked off. Do you realize the beating that he takes day after day and night after night? And remember, I mean, Paul LaDuca is 5'10" and maybe 180 pounds, and he takes some terrible punishment behind the plate, yet hitting .330 and in there almost every day. 0-2. And the bunt is down. So Brown has to make it to first base to Cabrera. And you really have to salute Darrell May. Not only did he have 2 strikes, and being an American League pitcher, not much use for the bat, but he got his sacrifice down. So hats off to Darrell. Brown's only play to first, so second and third, 2 out, and Desi Relaford coming up. So May gets a well-deserved pat on the back and 5s from his teammates. Tony Pena talking to him for a moment. So here is Relaford. A big chopper up the middle for a base hit, and then grounded out in the 3rd inning. Relaford, switch hitter, batting left-handed, hits one, and it's going to be caught by McGriff. That looked like a little flare that could have scored 2. Big Fred up the ladder to one-handed. So they lead 2, and at the end of 4.5, it's still 1-0 Dodgers. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 5th inning. Way back in 1965, a really nice kid came to the Dodgers. He was a dazzling second baseman. He was Rookie of the Year by the name of Jim Lefebvre. Rookie of the Year in 1965, a World Championship ball club. And how the years go by. Broadcasting the game on the left side of the screen, there is Ryan Lefebvre. Jim's son, a graduate of Loyola High School back in 1989, and doing a great job working with Denny Matthews doing the Royals games. Meanwhile, Adrian Beltre at the plate. Brown, LaDuca, and Colburn talking about perhaps pitch selection. And Beltre, a fly ball, coming over to get it is Beltran for the out. So Beltre to Beltran.
First up, Cesar Izturis.
And the batter will be Cesar Izturis. Up north, Christian Guzman singled in Chris Gomez, and the Minnesota Twins now lead the Giants 3-0, and they're going to the top of the 5th inning. Izturis flied to right. Ball 1. Cesar in a slump. He has 1 hit in his last 17 at-bats during this homestand, but he sure hasn't slumped with the glove. Right. Made another great play tonight on a ball hit by Joe Randa back in the 3rd inning. Chopper to first. Sweeney is there. 2 out.
Pitcher Kevin
So
Brown.
the Dodgers now 7 in a row retired by Darrell May. Last night the Dodgers were retired in order 7 of the 9 innings. So far tonight they have been retired in 2 of 4 innings, but if they get Brown it'll be 3 out of 5. Kevin popped up in the 3rd inning. A bunt in the air, foul, drops untouched. Kevin, a good idea, fouls it off. No balls, 1 strike. Dodgers outside of Roberts not getting anybody on base. If the Dodgers get some runners on base, you could expect them to run against Darrell May. Last year in the American League, they stole 13 out of 14 against him. 1-1. Darrell from San Bernardino. Foul back right into DePolice's mask. 1-2 the count. One run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Royals. Fouled away. Kevin Brown has been a fair hitter. He has 1 RBI, 5 hits. 2 of the 5 hits have been doubles. Two and 2. To look ahead for the Royals in the 6th. Joe Randa, Mike Sweeney, Raul Ibanez. 3-2. Dodger run in the first inning. Roberts bunted. It was juggled for an error, and then May threw it away for another error. Roberts reached third, and Green single scored him. Ground ball to Randa. So the Dodgers retired in order again. So that's 3 out of 5, and at the end of 5, 1-0 Dodgers. On this day in 1977, we mentioned the Dodgers retiring numbers of people like Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella, and Sandy Koufax. And on this day, 26 years ago, they retired number 24. That was the number of Dodger manager Walter Olson, who went from taking over the managerial job in Brooklyn, where people were asking Walter who, to the championship manager, bringing the Dodgers 4 World Series. 1955, the first and only one in Brooklyn. Then 1959, and we'll see the White Sox on the weekend. Then, for good measure, in 1963, the sweep of the Yankees. And finally, in 1965. What a guy, the skipper, Walter Olson. Let's go back to this one. Another great number and name never to be forgotten in Dodger history. And we move to the 6th. 1-0 Dodgers. Joe Randa a strike. 2 ground balls to short, but the second one was really a base hit. Somehow his Torres caught up to the ball, made a full turn, and then threw him out. 1-1. Brown has been in 2 scrapes. He had first and third with 1 out in the first inning and got out of it. And he had second and third with 2 out in the 5th and got out of it. Slice to right field. Green coming in a hurry. This time he has to knock it down. Randa will hold. So a leadoff single by Randa. So where
29.
Kevin Brown had retired 12 in a row, he has now given up 3 singles to the last 5 batters. So the tying run aboard. Mike Sweeney hit a line drive in and out of the mitt of Fred McGriff. Brown has reached 65 pitches. Sweeney last time up grounded to short. Mike 6'3", 225. Sidearm breaking ball. One of the few times that Kevin has changed the arm angle. Ball 2-0. Brown trying to gather himself now after the leadoff single and falling behind to Randa. Fastball whacked to left center. Roberts has had to run it down to the wall. Randa takes one look and he just keeps on going. Randa will score on a double by Sweeney, and the ball game is tied up 1-1. Kevin Brown, who looked so sharp when he was retiring 12 in a row, suddenly now is having some problems. And when you see him sidearm the hitters, and that's just an observation from up here, but usually the more he sidearms, the less effective he gets, and it's usually a sign of a little trouble. So you can bet Jim Colburn watching him so very carefully. So he's given up 3 singles and a double, 4 hits in the last 6 batters. And here is Raul Ibanez. Fastball bunted. LaDuca can't play third, goes to first in time. So Ibanez gets a sacrifice to advance Sweeney. The tiebreaker now is 90 feet away.
For the Royals,
and Carlos Beltran coming up.
Carlos Beltran.
So in the 5th inning with 1 out, Baroa and DeFelice singled. Now in the 6th inning, Randa singles, Sweeney doubles him in. 1-1 in the 6th. And of course the Dodgers, having lost last night 2-1, shaken by the thought. The infield comes up, and a great save by LaDuca. That could have been the wild pitch to send home the run. Brown has 3 wild pitches, and a great save by Paulie. So holding at third is Sweeney. So Brown struggling a little bit. 1 ball and no strikes. Missed away and low, 2-0. In the bottom of the 5th inning up north, J.T. Snow just cleared everything and hit one into the water, McCovey's Bay, and the Twins lead 4-2 now. And that's in the bottom of the 5th inning. Meanwhile, Brown definitely struggling. The count 3-0. And ball 4. So at least up here you had the feeling once he started to throw sidearm, he wasn't quite 100%.
Michael Tucker.
So first and third, 1 out, a 1-1 tie. Michael Tucker has grounded out and struck out. 1 run, 5 hits for the Royals. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Tuck has had a great deal of success in the past against Brown. Ball 1. And now LaDuca going out to talk to him. So Sweeney, who doubled, is now at third, talking to John Miserock. Over at first, Carlos Beltran. One ball and no strikes to Michael Tucker. For Kevin Brown, his next pitch will be number 75. Ball 2. So he is now starting to miss the strike zone just to add to all of his other problems. 75 pitches. He's missed the strike zone now 6 straight pitches. 2-1. Brown trying to bow his neck and fight his way out of it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Off the rubber. Beltran at first has stolen 11 out of 12. Looked like Tucker might have chased a bad ball, and the count 2-2. Sweeney at third. Wait till the ball is hit, but Beltran, that's another story. 11 out of 12. Brown really has to keep an eye on him. Hitting behind Tucker, Angel Baroa. And he's off the rubber again. This is a big pitch. If he goes 3-2 to Tucker, you'd figure that Beltran would be on the move. So it's 2-2. And Tucker strikes out a second time. So that is a huge out. 4 strikeouts for Kevin Brown, and Tucker twice.
Angel Baroa.
So Tucker going after a pitch that sinks. That might even have been a splitter. He throws the splitter so hard. They call it the 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but there was some sink to it. 2-seamer maybe. Now they're going to have to worry about Beltran. with 2 down, and Berroa at the plate. Grounded to short, single to right. 1-1 in the 6th. Ball 1. Brownie giving up some hits, but he's got so much sink on his pitches. He's still getting all outs and ground balls. 1-0. That's the sinking strike. 1-1. Jim Tracy hollering out to Paul Lo Duca for the minute, and Lo Duca now going out to talk to his infield. What he's doing is what we're going to do if Beltran takes off. 1 ball and 1 strike to Angel Berroa. Boy, they are certainly conscious of him, but of course they better be. A guy who has stolen 11 out of 12 and can still chew gum. One and 2, little foul ball. A 1-1 tie in the 6th. For Brown, working very hard. This next pitch will be his 20th. He made 14 pitches in the 4th inning, and now 20 so far. 1-2. Beltran goes, and it hits Berroa, or maybe it just went behind him. And here comes the runner to score. At first we thought it hit Berroa, and apparently he got out of the way of it. So it's going to be a wild pitch with Sweeney scoring. Down to second goes Beltran. Right behind him, looked like it hit him under the numbers, and apparently it didn't. Take another look. Wow, was that close. So the wild pitch scores Sweeney. Beltran was going, so he should be credited with a stolen base. And a 2-2 count to Berroa. So the Royals have taken a 2-1 lead. Foul ball. And Berroa that time fouled that off his left foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 in. So Darrell May now has himself a lead 2-1 on a single to right by Randa, a double to left center by Sweeney, a sacrifice by Darrell May, big play, and then the wild pitch. Two 2-1 Kansas City. Berroa, a tough nut to crack here in this series. That left foot still hurting. Berroa with 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, and Brown working very, very hard here in the inning. Two and 2. And another foul ball, which is the last thing that Brown needs. I mean, not only making a lot of pitches, trying to handle a throw and make a tag at the plate. His knees covered with mud shows that he's been busy besides pitching. This will be the 8th pitch coming up just to Berroa. Two balls, 2 strikes. Wow, he'd wear you out just staying up there hacking away. Berroa 1 for 2 tonight. He has had about 200 plate appearances, and he has struck out 39 times. A little bit more than he should, since he doesn't have a lot of power. 2-2. Waiting at second base, Carlos Beltran. And Berroa not ready. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors by the Royals, 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. Almost hit him, ball 3. So Berroa has missed 1 close to the chest and 1 very close to the back. 3-2. He's going to wear Brown out. Brown has had to make 10 pitches to Berroa alone. He has now made 88 pitches. Royals leading the Dodgers 2-1. Brown appeared to be laboring at the very start of this inning. There goes the runner, fouled away. So Beltran trying to steal third on a 3-2 pitch. So that's 11 pitches to Angel Berroa. Mike DeFelice on deck. Pretty good at bat for the young shortstop, especially against a pitcher the caliber of Kevin Brown. 3-2. Wow. Sometimes you see a hitter get swing happy, starts fouling pitches off, starts swinging at anything and everything around the plate, and after a series of foul balls, a lot of times they just strike out. But Berroa and Brown are really locked in here. 3-2. Hard ground ball to Beltre. And the inning is over, but not before the Royals get 2. Wild pitch, the difference. And at the end of 5 1/2, 2-1, Kansas City. Two to 1 Kansas City. Bottom of the 6th inning. Couple of notes on the scoreboard. In the Angel Expos game, Montreal All-Star outfielder Vladimir Guerrero has a herniated disc in his back and will go on the DL apparently. Ball 1 to Dave Roberts. Guerrero underwent an MRI before sitting out tonight's game, and he'll get a second opinion next week to confirm the diagnosis. Right. Which reminds us, Todd Hundley had a fragment removed from his back, and they say the operation went well. He could be released as soon as tomorrow. A shot just fair by Randa down the line, and there goes Dave Roberts for his second double. Roberts is the only Dodger to get to second base. He stopped at second twice and went to third once, so he's been the one busy man for the Dodgers, and he just did get that on the chalk. Randa dived, and watching it, Bill Miller, the third base umpire. So 2-1 Kansas City, but the Dodgers have the tying run at second base and nobody out. It has been a tough night so far for Paul LaDuca, who's coming up. LaDuca had Roberts at third, nobody out in the first inning, and popped up. He had Roberts at second with 1 out in the third, fly to right. Now he has Roberts at second with nobody out in the 6th. LaDuca bunts. Down to third goes Roberts, and the throw is just in time, but Paulie sacrifices, and the Dodgers have the tying run 90 feet away.
Now batting, number 15, Sean Green.
Well, LaDuca gets it down. May gets LaDuca. Roberts is at third, and Sean Green coming up. Green single to center to drive in a run in the first inning, the only Dodger run. Flied to left field with Roberts at second in the third. The Royals play the infield up. Kansas City trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead. Foul back. In that 6th inning, by the way, when we were talking about Kevin Brown laboring, he made 13 pitches to Angel Berroa alone, and totaled 29 pitches in the inning. But Berroa really gave him a bad time before grounding out. And a fly ball to center, plenty deep. Beltran for the catch. Roberts tags, and it's a 2-2 tie here in the 6th inning. So Shawn Green has knocked in both runs. Paul LaDuca sacrificed, and Green cashed it in. So 2-2, and the batter Brian Jordan. Come on, Brian. Jordan hit into a force play in the 1st inning, grounded to short. Doesn't get a sinker. 0-1. For Jordan, who has always been considered a power hitter, and yet 40 of his 50 hits have been singles this year. Brian with 4 home runs, 24 runs batted in. 1-1. So Dave Roberts, he's the battery that makes the ball club run. He gets on, one of the big guys pick him up. Ball 2, 2-1. Let's go. Two tie, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Royals, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers to even it up for Kevin Brown. The 29 pitches that Brown made in the 6th inning. The question is just how much will Berroa's at bat take away from him. Pop fly, and it'll be Sweeney. So the leadoff double and the sacrifice by LaDuca, followed by the scoring fly ball. Kevin goes back to work, even 2-2. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by Nextel. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9 and by the Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. We're going to the 7th inning, and it's another push versus shove. 2-2. Some Dodger fans with their interpretation of a rally cap, other little girls holding teddy bears, and into the 7th we go. Now Brown will really be watched carefully. He's made 91 pitches, but more importantly, the last 2 innings he's really had to work. Made 43 pitches in the last 2 innings, 29 in the 6th inning. 1-1. DeFelice, the catcher, then Darrell May and Desi Relaford. DeFelice grounded out and singled. Did he hold up? They're going to check. No, he didn't, says Joe West. And the count 1-2. Two and 2. DeFelice came up, spent a couple of years up and down with the Cardinals, 3 years with the Devil Rays, then the Diamondbacks, Devil Rays again, and down he goes as a Royal. So 1 out in the 7th inning, and the batter will be Darrell May. That would be strikeout number 5 for Kevin Brown. Darrell May struck out in the 3rd inning, but it was rather impressive to see him go up there, battle, and with 2 strikes get his sacrifice bunt down. That's a strike. 0-1. Little ground ball to Hobie Cabrera. Now Desi Relaford.
For the Royals, number 12.
Relaford singled up the
Desi
middle in the
Relaford.
first inning, grounded out in the third, and almost knocked in 2 runs in the fifth. He hit a looper heading towards right field, and big Fred McGriff went up the ladder to one-handed. Otherwise, 2 runs would have scored. So McGriff's size, 6'4", and it really came in handy. That's a strike to Desi, an overall .291 batting average. Relaford hitting .395 right-handed. Line drive to his turret. So Desi hits it right on the screws, but right at the shortstop. 100 pitches for Kevin Brown. He walks off 2-2. High-spirited crowd. 2-2, bottom of the 7th. Fred McGriff, Hobie Cabrera, and Adrian Beltre. Aye, there, cute stuff. And a strike to McGriff. Fly to right, grounded out. By the way, we were talking about the pitch count of Kevin Brown. He made 29 pitches in the 6th inning. And we thought that the 7th inning would be critical, and he got a break. Working at the bottom of the lineup for the Royals.
For the Dodgers,
Kevin pitched the 7th inning and made only
Cabrera.
9 pitches. So McGriff goes 0 for 3. And the batter will be Hobie Cabrera. Lined out to left, fly to right. The Dodgers keeping track of the pitch count. They know that Kevin Brown has now made 100 pitches, especially coming off a very difficult 6th inning. So Paul Shuey gets up in the Dodger bullpen. 2-2, bottom of the 7th. Here's Hobie. A very tough series. The Dodgers winning game 1 on ball 4 to Adrian Beltre to win that game 4-3. Then the Royals coming back to win last night's game after a superb effort by Hideo Nomo, and the Royals win it 2-1. And tonight we're 2-2. And don't forget, the Chicago White Sox will be here starting tomorrow night. The Dodger pitching tomorrow night, Kaz Ishii. Saturday night, Andy Ashby. Sunday afternoon, Odalis Perez. Ball 2. Two and 1 to Hobie Cabrera, with Adrian Beltre on deck. Little foul off to the right. That'll carry out of play. Give me 5. Look at the smile on her face. Ball 3. Darrell May has had a pretty easy night. 18 pitches in the 3rd inning. Otherwise down around 12 or 11 pitches. In fact, he came into this inning having made 77 pitches. Now he's up to 84. 3-2. Fouled away. So now let's see if Hobie Cabrera can do a job to try and wear out Darrell May like Angel Baroa. Remember, Baroa in the 6th inning had a 13-pitch at bat and then hit sharply to Beltre. Three and two to Hobie. Darrell May from San Bernardino might have a lot of relatives and friends here tonight. And Hobie lifts it into shallow right. Michael Tucker is there. 2 down. Say, friends, the White Sox are coming this weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. All fans in attendance receive a free beach towel. Compliments of Carl's Jr. Call 323-2241-HIT. Check the website at Dodgers.com and come on out and see Odalis Perez pitch on Sunday. Oh, yes. Little sugar in the lap. Ball 1. Kevin Brown heading towards the bat rack, having made 100 pitches. 2-0 to Beltre. Adrian killed some nerves in the 2nd inning. Killed all the worms right around in front of home plate. And then last time up, flied to center. 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1. Two runs, 5 hits for the Royals. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Line drive, fair ball down in the corner. Ibanez chasing it, and Beltre jogs into second with a double. The Dodgers' 3rd double tonight. So they only have 4 hits and 3 doubles. So a tiebreaker at second with 2 down and a slumping Cesar Izturis coming up. Up north in the 7th inning, A.J. Pierzynski had a scoring fly ball. The Twins pick up a run, and they now lead the Giants 5-2, top of the 7th inning. Cesar Izturis flied to right, grounded to first. He has just 1 hit in his last 18 at-bats. Kevin Brown is on deck. And Darrell May has now made 90 pitches. So a big at-bat for Izturis. Cesar hitting .239. Might be slumping with the bat, but certainly not with the glove. And now Darrell May and Mike DeFelice not on the same page, so timeout. Izturis, as I'm sure you know, is a better hitter right-handed than left, but he has always insisted that he could become a switch hitter, and he's doing just that this year, hitting in the 240s left-handed and hitting in the 270s right-handed, but 0 for 2 tonight. Off the plate, ball 1. Now, whether they want to pitch to Izturis, Tony Pena has to figure it out. If I put Izturis on, will they bat for Brown? 2 down. Dodgers, meanwhile, have the bullpen busy. That even could be a decoy. Ball 2. Now DeFelice looks over as the Dodgers have Tom Martin joining Paul Shuey. And here comes John Cumberland, the pitching coach for Kansas City. Looks like Darrell May didn't want to give Izturis a strike on those first 2 pitches anyway. Down in the bullpen, Sean Lowe begins to loosen up. May has gone over the 90 pitch mark. Big moment in the ball game. A 2-2 tie, bottom of the 7th, 2 out. Beltre at second base, and Cesar Izturis up there trying to pick him up. And Kevin Brown on deck. Of course, Brown has to be out there anyway. So let's see. Are they going to pitch to his Izturis? 2-0. A line drive base hit to left. Now here comes Ibanez with the throw. Beltre will score. Down to second goes Little Caesar, and it's 3-2 Dodgers. Now that the Dodgers have the go-ahead run and the throw slightly offline, so Beltre beats it, Kevin Brown will come out and Ron Coomer will bat for Brown. So the Dodgers take a 3-2 lead as Beltre brings it in on a clutch base hit by Cesar Izturis. So Cesar comes up with a base hit. He was 1 for 19, and after a 2-0 count, they decided to pitch to him, and he got a base hit. So Kevin Brown goes out winning after a very big struggle in the 6th inning when he made 29 pitches, then got out of the 7th inning on 9 pitches, and now he can sit back and take in the game. Brown at home plate, and on the throw, see the way he's pointing? That's the old school. Not just telling a guy to slide, but telling him which way to slide. And Beltre followed it. Probably has a strawberry on his left leg, but he brought in the run. Now with Coomer up there, they're going to walk him, and that'll bring up Dave Roberts. So Ron Coomer will get the intentional walk, and the Dodgers have first and second, 1 run in, leading 3-2, and the batter will be Dave Roberts. Andy Ashby, who normally hangs out in the bullpen, but he's going to be starting on Saturday. So Andy's sitting with Kevin Brown in the dugout. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Royals. Bottom of the 7th, Dave Roberts 2 for 3, 2 doubles, batting .275. Breaking ball strike, 0-1. Roberts with 2 doubles, scored once on Green's fly ball. He also scored on 2 errors on Green's base hit. So he's been busy. 0-1. Fastball tied him up. Didn't have much of a swing on that. 0-2. Well, for Darrell May, this will be his 100th pitch. Kevin Brown made 100 and came out. 0-2 to Dave Roberts. On deck, Paul Lo Duca. Fastball above the eyes. 1-2. Darrell May hitting only 85 with that fastball. Usually can throw a little bit harder than that, but he's not an overpowering pitcher at all. And when you look at the Dodger at bats tonight, he does not have a strikeout. First and second, 2 out, 1-2 to Roberts. Got him on the outside corner, so there's his first strikeout of the night. He picked a great time to get it for Kansas City, but Kevin Brown, after pitching 100, goes out leading thanks to Little Caesar, 3-2.
Fox Sports Net 2 presents Dodgers Baseball, brought to you by Jack Daniel's Country Cocktails. Reminds you to live colorfully, but drink responsibly.
We're going to the 8th inning in a tough ball game. The Dodgers leading the Royals 3-2. Kevin Brown goes out with a possible win. Paul Shuey now is called on to try and protect that lead and then I'm sure give the ball to Eric Gagne for the 9th inning. For Shuey, he will be facing the heart of the Royals lineup: Joe Randa, Mike Sweeney, and Raul Ibanez. Shuey, of course, coming over from the American League, so he's seen all of the Royal hitters. Ball 1 to Randa, grounded to short, then lost a base hit on a great play by Izturis, and single to right in the 6th inning. 2-0. Shuey and Randa 3 for 11 against him. That's a .273 batting average. 2-1 to count. Paul Shuey with an earned run average of 1. 2-2 to count. So Shuey is trying to get what they call a hold. Pitch the inning, hold the lead, and then give the ball to the closer. And down goes Randa. Don't forget the Dodger Coca-Cola Family Pack. 4 reserve level tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes and a parking pass for $39. Available every Sunday and Wednesday home game all year long. So we'll look forward to seeing you take advantage Sunday when the White Sox are here. All right, 1 out in the 8th, and Mike Sweeney reached on an error, grounded to short, doubled, and scored a run. Right. Sweeney 1 for 12 against Shuey when they went head-to-head in the American League. The one guy in the lineup, at least from the past, Shuey has to wonder and worry about is Carlos Beltran, and Sweeney takes one, I believe, on the hand. Well, Mike Sweeney hit on the left hand. Tony Pena coming out, and Mike down on his knees. For Sweeney, it's the first time this year that he's been hit by a pitch. For Shuey, it would be the 2nd hit batter, and of course Brian Jordan was hit on the hand and got away without any broken bones, and you certainly hope the same thing for Mike Sweeney. But Pena shook his head, no, you're not going to stay in. So Mike's coming out, taking one on the back of the left hand. So Shuey trying to get it inside, got it too far inside, and Mike couldn't get that hand out of the way. And Mendy Lopez will take over at first base, running for Sweeney.
Your attention, please. Pinch running for Sweeney. Number 7, Mendy Lopez.
So Mendy Lopez loosening up his legs over there at first base. Meanwhile, Jim Tracy is going out, and he's going to bring in his left-handed Tom Martin to face Raul Ibanez. So Shuey struck out Randa, but he hit Sweeney. The tying runs aboard with 1 out, and we'll be back. (3-2) Dodgers. Tom Martin now called in to face Ibanez with Carlos Beltran on deck. And remember, Beltran is a switch hitter. Ibanez struck out, grounded out, and sacrificed. Mendy Lopez at first, and has pretty good running speed, even though he's only 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Pitch fouled away. Mendy stole home the end of May, the 31st of May. You don't see that very often. He stole home against Oakland. So the Dodgers have to keep an eye on him. 0-1 the count. Little bouncer by the mound down to Cabrera, who tags the runner, throws too late to first. So Cabrera takes care of Lopez on the tag. Ibanez safely aboard, and now Carlos Beltran coming up.
Number 15.
Batting left-handed. Carlos Beltran is hitting .293. Batting right-handed, he's batting .245. He has 10 home runs, 9 batting left-handed. So that's why Jim Tracy wants Tom Martin out there to turn him around. Breaking ball, 0-1. Tom Martin faced Beltran once, standing room only, down in the Royals bullpen. And in the one time they faced each other over in the American League, Beltran had a scoring fly ball, a run batted in. 0-2 on that high fastball, clocked at 93. On deck, left-hand batter Michael Tucker. So it was a perfect time to bring in Martin. 0-2. And they got the runner picked off. McGriff sidearms to Cabrera. So Mendy Lopez might have stolen home against Oakland, but he is hung out to dry here in Los Angeles. And at the end of 7.5, 3-2 Dodgers. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's got 3 new ultimate salads. By Rico Document Management. By Southwest Airlines. And by your Southern California Ford dealer. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2 Dodgers. Paul Lo Duca, Shawn Green, and Brian Jordan. And Darrell May still in there. As Dave Roberts talks to Jack Clark, Lo Duca slicing fly ball to right, and a tremendous effort by Michael Tucker, but he can't get the ball, and Lo Duca is churning all the way to third with nobody out. And for Lo Duca, it now means he has hit in 14 straight, and it had to be a maddening play from Michael Tucker. The harder he ran, the more the ball sliced away from him. Tuck went as far as he could, lunged and missed it, and that added the extra base. Michael coming from right center, unable to cover the ground. So a runner at third, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Dodgers. The infield is up, and Shawn Green the batter. Green with 2 RBIs tonight, singled home Roberts in the first inning, had a scoring fly ball to cash Roberts in the 6th. Now he has a shot at picking up Lo Duca. Sean Lowe and Rick DeHart. DeHart, a left-hander. 0-1. Ground ball right to second base. Lo Duca nowhere to go, and Relliver throws him out. So a missed opportunity for Sean, 1 away, and the batter Brian Jordan. By the way, apologize in the 8th inning. I said it was Lopez who was thrown out, picked off, and it was Raul Ibanez, and Mendy Lopez staying in the game, playing first base for Mike Sweeney, who was hit on the hand. Tony Pena is going to make a switch now. With Brian Jordan coming up, it looks like he'd bring in Sean Lowe, his right-hander. Tony celebrated his 46th birthday yesterday, and he will send out Darrell May. Sean Lowe pitched the 7th inning in game 1 and gave up a double and a run. So we'll be back right after this.
Dodgers, number 33.
Little Caesar got the RBI to break a tie. Dave Roberts has been busy with 2 doubles, scoring twice. Shawn Green with 2 RBIs. And Kevin Brown went 100 pitches through 7 and goes out with a possible chance to win. Meanwhile, Paul Lo Duca at third base and Sean Lowe facing Brian Jordan. Interesting about Paul Lo Duca coming up with his 2nd career triple. The other one was last year against the American League in interleague play to Tampa Bay. Foul ball off the bat of Jordan, 0-1. So June the 10th last year, Paulie had a triple against Tampa Bay, and here he is now on June the 5th, coming up with his 2nd career triple against Kansas City. Jordan trying to pick him up. Shawn Green couldn't. On deck, Fred McGriff. 1-1. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Royals. Bottom of the 8th. In the 9th inning, Beltran, Tucker, and Baroa due up for Kansas City. Ball 2. Down in the Dodger bullpen, exactly whom you would expect. Really fooled on that pitch, and hardly a swing at all. So Sean Lowe trying to come in and shut down Brian Jordan, and then from the looks of things, Rick DeHart might be coming in to face Fred McGriff. 2-2. Got him. So Jordan, a long night, goes 0 for 4. And now Tony Pena heading back out to the mound, and we'll see if that's enough for Sean Lowe. McGriff due up to hit, and here comes DeHart, and we'll be back right after this. Stay tuned after the game for highlights of all of today's sports action. We'll present the Southern California Sports Report. That means complete Dodger coverage and a lot more. The Southern California Sports Report coming up next. Well, with apologies to Graham Greene, it's DeHart of the matter. Rick DeHart is brought in now. Jack Clark studying the scouting report. McGriff reads it and now carries a little knowledge up to the plate. Big sweeping curveball. Ball 1. Rick DeHart, 6'1", 180, lives in Topeka, Kansas, 33 years old. Signed as a minor league free agent a couple of years ago. For the Dodgers, it could be embarrassing. I mean, LaDuca opens up the 8th inning with a triple. Green comes up and can't pick him up. Jordan strikes out and can't pick him up. And here's McGriff, 1-1. And he picks him up. He picks up the whole ballpark, and the Dodgers lead 5-2. So for Fred McGriff, home run number 488. Now he is 1 shy of Joe DiMaggio as far as RBIs are concerned. He has 1,536. DiMaggio had 37. And McGriff gets closer and closer to 500. And the batter now, Obi Cabrera. So much for percentages. And DeHart has his heart broken as he goes down in anguish. And there was no doubt about it. As soon as Fred hit it, it was out of sight. Ground foul. So in the inning, Darrell May gave up the triple to LaDuca. Lowe came in and got Green. Lowe got Jordan, and then DeHart gives up the bomb. So 2 out, 2 in, and the Dodgers have scored 5 times, and Eric Gagne toweling off in the bullpen. Dodgers have used Brown, Shuey, and Martin. 0-2 the count. Breaking ball. For McGriff to give the Dodgers a tremendous lift, his 10th home run of the year. He now has 33 runs batted in, and the Dodgers have a 3-run lead to take into the 9th inning. 0-2. Ball 1. So it looked like a great bit of managing for Tony Pena. He kept May in there to get Green. He brought Lowe in there to get Jordan, and it was all set to bring in DeHart to get McGriff, and it didn't work out. 5-2 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th inning. Beltran, Tucker, and Berroa coming up. Meanwhile, Darrell May, who pitched so well, now finds himself in a position where he could suffer the loss. Half swing, they check, no swing. 2-2. White Sox here starting tomorrow night. Meanwhile, up north, Minnesota leading the Giants 5-2. And they're now in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ground ball to short, and that'll end it, but it ends the inning. But Fred McGriff, a 2-run home run with Paul Lo Duca aboard. The Dodgers get out from under a very tight squeeze. They lead 5-2, and the crowd on its feet. Here he comes. Bienvenue, Monsieur Gagne. 5-2 Dodgers, 9th inning, and the first pitch to Carlos Beltran, a strike, and the count 0-1. Eric Gagne, 19 saves, 19 opportunities, 27 straight saves. 1-1. One of the more amazing things about Gagne, he has 52 strikeouts and only 6 walks. That's a strike. 1-2. Eric came in the 9th inning of game 1 and struck out Berroa and the pitch hitter Guile. Now working on Beltran. 1-2. Foul back. What is amazing about Gagne as well, in his 19 save situations, he's allowed 1 run in 18 2/3 innings. That made his ERA less than half a run. And that'll do it for Carlos Beltran. The Dodgers have never really had anything like Eric Gagne.
Right fielder, Michael Tucker.
Gagne making 4 pitches, 94 and 95, and then came back at 86. And Beltran way out in front of it. So now here is Michael Tucker, who is grounded out and struck out twice. And that change in there for a strike. 0-1. They're all looking 95, and that's exactly when he throws 80. 1-1. Gagne trying to hold on to a 5-2 lead here in the 9th inning. 1-1. Ball 2. Dodgers not only trying to win 2 out of 3 from Kansas City, but trying to even up a disappointing homestand. 2-2. And the Dodgers need this win tonight to split the first 6 against Milwaukee and Kansas City, and then on the weekend face the Chicago White Sox. 2-2. Check swing. Still 2-2. On deck, Angel Berroa. Fastball. Still 2-2. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Kevin Brown with a record of 7-1. Allowed 2 runs. Dodgers got a run in the bottom of the 7th inning when he was still a pitcher of record, so Kevin could be 8-1. Ball 3. Bottom of the 9th inning up north. Minnesota leading 5-2, and the Giants have 2 men on and 2 out. Well, can you believe it? All he does is come in and strike out Beltran and Tucker, and the crowd loves every pitch. Watch this thing drop. I mean, it's just not there.
Angel Berroa.
So with 2 down in the 9th inning, Angel Berroa coming up, grounded out single, grounded out again. That last off-speed pitch was only 83 after a couple of 96s. Strike. Boy, how this crowd loves strikes. And now the majority of the 29,000 on their feet. 0-1. Berroa, tough little hitter. Remember, back in the 6th inning, it took Kevin Brown 13 pitches to get him. Oh, wow. This crowd beside itself. The 2 pitches to Berroa, 97 miles an hour. So Brownie is a pitch away. 0-2. Half swing. What do they say? No, says Joe West, much to the disappointment of the crowd. 1-2. Up north with 2 on and 2 out, they have a 1-2 count on the hitter as the Twins try to knock off the Giants. Big slow curve, but he missed. 2-2. We have seen him throw that pitch and freeze so many hitters for strike 3. Not that time. And that thing was 69 miles an hour. 2-2. Little ground ball to short. Izturis the pick. And that's it. Gagne comes in, gets them 1-2-3, strikes out 2, and the Dodgers hold on to win it 5-2. Kevin Brown, the winner after 100 tough pitches, especially in the 6th inning when he made 29. Brown is now 8-1 for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are 9-13 in his starts, and Fred McGriff shared the spotlight with a big 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Of course, the spotlight also included Dave Roberts. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the White Sox are here. Kaz Ishii on the mound. Once again, the final score, Dodgers 5, Royals 2. For Ross Porter and Rick Monday, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Dodger Stadium. For Dodger postgame coverage and all the day's local sports news, let's go to the Southern California Sports Report. Good night, everybody.